My first task here is to introduce Peter Poulet to truly get things going, with some reflections on promoting and procuring design excellence as an everyday aspiration for the development process and the placemaking process. And I think along the way to make an important announcement on behalf of the state government, which I think directly leverages off our gathering this morning. Peter will be known to most of you, artist and architect. He's been Government Architect of New South Wales since 2012, coming from a similar role in Tasmania, and overseeing a pretty radical rethink in the role of that office in design delivery and education. He's also an adjunct professor, as it turns out, at UNSW. So, Peter.
Thank you, Robert. Greetings to you all. And first of all, I guess an apology. Minister Stokes was very keen to be here as a great supporter of what we're trying to do in Sydney. So he's deeply sorry that he's unable to be here, and I'd even go so far as to suggest he is thinking of us at this moment. But that's a guess. Greetings to you all. Thank you to UNSW. Thank you to JBA. Where is she? Over there. And I should add the ARB, who have been partners with us in our bicentenary year, the bicentenary of the Government Architect. Let's get down to tin tacks, I guess. And I'm going to go slightly off-piste here, principally because I forgot to bring my glasses with me to the office this morning, and I happen to be wearing our legal counsel's glasses, which gives a very strange lens to what I'm about to say. No, relax, I'm an architect. Well, we all know that Sydney's growing. We all know we don't want to make it a lousy place. We want to make sure that our communities are happy, healthy, prosperous, equitable, with equitable access to services, jobs, and all the things that make for fulfilling lives. Nobody's going to argue about this, so let's assume that as a given. So how do we arrange the infrastructure that we need into something that's more than just utilitarian, something that's joyful, something that's going to be contributing to our well-being, and how are we going to do that? And I'm suggesting design is the answer, and design excellence is a part of that. So when we talk about good design, I'm including design excellence in that term. As an architect, I'm passionate about the power of design and the power of design to improve things. Design brings a number of things to the table that are traditionally difficult to corral. And so the process of design, and I should stress when I talk design, I talk about process and I talk about engagement. The methods of design are intended to unlock new thinking, new pathways, and hence new ideas. Design's there to seek out problems, ask questions, and then use things like scenario testing, options, iterations to hone and distill the way forward. In our world, this can be used for projects, precincts, places, but most importantly, to processes in organisations or institutions. And I guess part of the reason that it's a good thing we've moved to the Department of Planning is that together we can do amazing things. We bring a design sensibility, we unlock those processes that aren't always available, and we bring them to bear on our city. And I think that's fantastic. In many spheres of business, outside of government, design is used as a way of differentiating organisations and, as I said earlier, unlocking new potentials. So the relocation that Rob alluded to of my office into the Department of Planning has been fortuitous. And again, I credit the Minister with seeing the potential and the synergies that have gone there. So in collaboration with the department, my office is developing a design-led approach to planning. That's quite a radical shift from the traditional planning methods. And it's a partnership model that's working really well in the 10 months that we've been there. And I can only hope that next year will be even more energetic, if that's possible. As a first step, we recently launched the policy on architecture and design called Better Placed, and I hope you've all looked at it, and I'm expecting a serious interrogation and review of that from you all. I'll be checking your homework later. It outlines a series of 7 distinct principles applicable to the built form at any scale, and that's the interesting thing. So We talk about needing to be contextual, sustainable, equitable, enjoyable, functional, value-creating and distinctive. And how do we bring that to the joyful process of planning our city? And the draft policy articulates the necessary role design plays in achieving livable, productive and resilient environments, and focuses on ensuring the investment in projects adds to creating great places that people can enjoy. Importantly, it champions the need for design excellence in the New South Wales built environment and starts the discussion on how we deliver and assess design excellence, and that's what today's about. When Minister Stokes launched the draft of Better Placed, our policy on architecture and design, he also spoke of the prospect of an amendment to the state's EP&A Act. And the proposed amendment that I'm particularly interested in, that he foreshadowed, is a new object in the EP&A Act, promoting good design in the built environment. So design suddenly gets a serious consideration for the first time. I heard that, John. A design object will ensure design is considered and balanced with the other objects that are in the Act. Specifically, and again, Rob has stolen my thunder to some extent, there's been talk of a thing called the missing middle. And look, I've been trying to lose my middle for a while, but I think Sydney's trying to gain its missing middle. So how do we get a consistent approach to delivering quality, lower rise, medium density housing in neighbourhoods in New South Wales? And the majority of new housing built in New South Wales has currently fallen into two categories: the traditional freestanding house and apartments. So we need affordable housing solutions for families and to increase a variety of housing types that are available. I'm hoping this gives that variety of choice, provides a vibrant built environment, and ensures housing supply caters for the needs of a changing demographic into the future. It will also address issues of infill and building in areas that already exist. So to that end, again, more recently, the Missing Middle Design Guide, as I'm calling it, or the Medium Density Design Guide and Draft Medium Density Housing Code has been released. This paper asks stakeholders what would be required for medium density housing types to be assessed as complying development, a fast track assessment process for development consistent with existing council codes and zoning. There was strong support from industry and councils for the development of a design guide like this to promote better design outcomes for medium density housing. And the design guide will be used to promote good design outcomes for medium density housing across New South Wales for both complying developments and development applications. Importantly, design guides will be legally enforceable for complying development, and any builder that certifies a development also needs to ensure the development standards and design principles are met. For those developments which are carried out under a DA, the design guide will not be legally enforceable, but they'll still be expected to use the principles as articulated to get better outcomes. But before I move on, I want to make something very clear. The design guide and development standards I'm referring to will not override council environment plans or development control plans. So if councils choose to adopt design guidance in the DCPs, it is their prerogative. Also, councils highlighted the importance of ensuring that development respects an area's existing local character and streetscape. So again, the draft medium density design guide, the missing middle, includes proposed building heights, limits, setbacks, landscaping and other building standards in response to this feedback. I believe that increasing the supply and quality of medium density housing across New South Wales will provide many benefits, and I'm hopeful that this initiative will provide more housing choice to the people and families of New South Wales. Today, in collaboration with the Department of Planning, we are launching an open ideas competition. Again, I'm calling it the Missing Middle competition. And the competition is open to architects, architectural students, building designers, any design professionals. And we see the competition as an experiment in design-led planning. So we're testing the draft codes and documents that we're producing and asking the industry to have a go at using them. We're seeking the innovation and creative intelligence of our design sector to apply, test and improve the draft medium density design guide. So concept designs will be used to inform the final guide and to promote design excellence through a complying development pathway. And the competition brief is available for download on the planning website, planning.newsouthwales.gov.au/missing middle competition, all in one word. And if you can remember that, you're pretty good. And there's prize money attached, $50,000 to be shared across 7 winners and runners-up. And entries are due just before Christmas. So the 16th of December, and please have a look on the link and get involved. So the release of our architecture and design policy, Better Placed, the development and testing of the medium design guide are all steps towards a new way of dealing with our growing cities and towns. This is a design-led approach aimed at getting better design and planning outcomes with design excellence central to its success. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.